A lot of people tell me that they're visual learners. And over time, I've grown to sort of laugh when I hear that, because I'm not sure that it's even accurate to say that there's anyone who's not a visual learner. And what I mean by that is most of us probably would agree that it's appealing to be able to have things presented to us in a very visual format. After all, that's kind of the reason why I decided to go into video learning in the broader scope of things in the first place. And where I'm going with this here is very simple. When I'm managing a project and I'm looking at tasks and things that describe the status of those tasks and all sorts of things along those lines, it's very helpful to me, and I think it almost makes it the whole point practically of having an application that helps you manage a project well, where you have features like what you're about to see, namely conditional formatting. And what this is going to allow us to do is create certain rules that change the way things appear to us so that without having to really look too closely, it becomes immediately apparent what the status of a task is. So I can set something up that says when the checkbox that is there for marking the task complete is checked off, let's highlight the entire row a certain color and make the font a certain different color so that we can clearly see, without having to think too much, exactly what's been completed and what remains to be completed. Let's go see what this looks like. Here's a glance behind the scenes of how I develop courses here at schoolofbookkeeping.com. As you can see, I've got sections, and within each section I've got the name of the lesson, and I've got the section and lesson number, and then I've got the tasks that need to be completed in order to know that the lesson has been completed. So I've just finished writing the content for this very lesson. So I'm going to check off over here, task completed, and notice what happens. Immediately the row lights up with the yellow and reddish brick red color font. So it makes it very visual and very clear. This task has been completed. So I'm going to save that, and now I'm going to show you how I did that. So let's go back over to our examples here. So in the last lesson we looked at uncategorized expenses. Prior to that we looked at our whole bookkeeping project. Let's say that Eric has now come in and given me these bank statements, right? What I want to do is I want to check off task completed. But notice nothing special really happened other than the check mark showed up. So let's change that. Let's set some conditional formatting. We're going to look for this icon right here. If you hover your mouse over, the help tip pops up and lets you know this is the conditional formatting option. When I click on that, and if you have it set as such, especially with a new account, you're going to get these tips that pop up. I am your tip tool pop-up box for this purpose, at least for now. Conditional formatting is a great way to make your project very visual and thereby making it very easy for people to see exactly what the status of the project at large is and, of course, the status of a particular task within the project. One of the things that really strikes me about how Smartsheet handles this is beyond the surface level, conditional formatting, being able to change colors of things to make it clear what's going on, is the flexibility within that. So as you'll see in the screencast here, when I go in to set the rules for conditional formatting, I have a lot of flexibility there. First of all, in terms of setting the condition itself, and there's even an option to say, do it if the condition is not met, which I thought was very clever. It was one of those little intelligent things. And there's also a lot of flexibility in terms of when the condition is met or not met, whichever I've established, for the colors to change. Then I'm also able to be very specific about whether it happens to the whole row or one specific column. I think you're going to find that this provides you with a lot of flexibility so that you can be really clear about how you want to present your project and the status of your project to all the users of that project. So we're going to come over here, we're going to click Add New Rule. And first I have to set the condition, then I have to decide what format to apply when that condition is met, or you're going to see there's an option to say apply the format if the condition is not met. And I can apply it to the entire row or one specific column. So first let's set the condition, which is task completed is checked, right? How easy is that? Task completed, checked. Down here is where I was saying you can apply the format when the condition is not met. So you can do like reverse psychology on your Smartsheet, which is fun. So let's click OK now. So now that we've just defined the criteria, when the task completed column is checked off, what format are we going to use? And this is your choice. So what I did was I used this kind of default background color here, and I chose this sort of brick red here at top left. And you can see in the background it's already updating because I had already checked off that task completed option there. And then where do we want to apply it? So do we want to apply it to the entire row or just a task completed? So I like doing the entire row. That's just my preference. And as you can see, you can individually check and say only do it to certain things, right? So I'm going to click OK and OK, and I'm done. And that's exactly how I did that. And obviously, we probably want to do the same kind of thing in the uncategorized expenses. So here we're going to see one extra step that needs to be done in the process that was already done for you so far, which is that I'm going to right click here, insert column to the right. I need a checkbox. We're going to call it item updated in QB, QuickBooks, right? So we get the checkbox there. Let's save that. And then we'll check that off when this one's done. Because now let's say the client came in, gave me the update, I went into QuickBooks, I booked it, now I want to mark it completed. This is for my own edification, and also because remember those alerts are going to go out, so the client's going to be notified, oh good, Seth's doing his job, right? And those are little things that clients love. They can delete the email, it's a throwaway email for all they care, but at least they kind of get that notification that something's being done. It gives them that comfort that something's being done on their file. So now let's set up the condition again. It doesn't hurt to review things several times. So, conditional formatting. Add new rule. When item updated in QB is checked, we'll click OK. Apply this format. We'll do something different this time. Maybe a dark background color and a white font. And click OK. And then save. And now once you've established that, of course, it applies to the whole sheet. So I just click something and boom. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's how you can use conditional formatting to start making your projects come to life and really become visual tools as well as practical tools for how to track and manage where the progress of the project is at. The more that I see that I've got lines sort of shaded out in yellow and red, the more I get that sense that, oh, this project is moving along, it's being completed. It's a visual thing, it's a psychological thing. And that, my friends, are some of the little things that make these things really enhance the process of working in products like Smartsheet, where it really gives you the infrastructure to make the experience nice for yourself and for the client. Clients are going to be so impressed when they see that you have this kind of stuff at your fingertips and you know how to use the tools and you know how to use those tools to make their life easier. That's what this is all about at the end of the day. Really, to make your life easier and theirs easier. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Make sure that you kind of are following along, that you can do this. It's pretty easy, I think, but I would certainly stop here, play around with some conditional formats on your own projects that you might have set up, or if you've got the equivalent project set up on your end, then play around with it. Make sure you can, get this same effect to occur. And if you do it, then I'm sure you'll start getting ideas about variations on the theme and how you might do things a little differently than I have. And if you have, again, and as always, I would love to get your feedback on that. I would love to hear from you about what you're doing based on what you've learned here from me. So as always, I hope you found this helpful, and I look forward to getting your questions and our answers for them, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. As you can see, conditional formatting is going to provide you with a really powerful way to enhance the management of your projects based on the visual appeal that it provides. Now we're going to take a look at another use case in the form of how to set up Smartsheet for a tax engagement. This is going to be especially useful to those who do taxes for a living and don't necessarily do bookkeeping and accounting. But I want to make it clear that the process here is not much different. It's only the actual tasks themselves that's different when you go from an accounting engagement to a tax engagement.